Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially day number 40 of the ongoing government shutdown, and I'll tell you what, we just got some brand new information that is pretty much the final nail in the coffin for Chuck Schumer and the Democrats. Now, as many of you know, over the last 40 days, the Senate has voted 15 times to try to reopen the government, and every single time, 52 Republicans have voted yes, whereas only 3 out of the 47 Senate Democrats have voted alongside them. And given that it takes 60 votes in total to reopen the government, this is why everyone is currently saying that this is a Democrat shutdown, really Schumer's shutdown, because it is. But so like I said earlier today, we just got some brand new breaking information that's pretty much doomsday for Chuck Schumer and the Democrats. You see, the Congressional Budget Office, otherwise known as the CBO, just announced that every single week that the government remains shut down, the U.S. economy is losing around $16 billion in output, meaning that Schumer's shutdown has already caused over $90 billion worth of economic damage. Folks, to put that number into perspective, well over half of the countries on this planet have an annual GDP of $90 billion or less. And Chuck Schumer has torched all of that money in just the last 4 weeks alone. And of course, all of the Democrats' ongoing economic terrorism 40 days into this government shutdown is just now beginning to have some real-world consequences. Take a look.
We've seen an impact on the economy from day one, but it's getting worse and worse. We had a fantastic economy under President Trump the past 2 quarters, and now there are estimates that the economic growth for this quarter could be cut by as much as half if the shutdown continues.
And so, folks, let the record show that is exactly what Chuck Schumer and the Democrats really want. They have decided that their best chance at winning midterms a year from now is to keep the government shut down for the next 12 months so that they can try to blame this entire situation on President Trump and have something to complain about on the campaign trail. Luckily, though, the Trump administration is taking this entire situation incredibly seriously. Take a look.
What we're not going to do is what happened under the Biden administration, where the administration and the media gaslit everyone and said, there's a vibe session. You don't understand how good you have it. And what happened then was we had the worst inflation 40 or 50 years, 22, 23%, but the basket of goods and services for working Americans was up more than 30%. And what we're seeing is we had to stop the increase first. Now we are starting to see prices level off, come down. Gasoline is down, interest rates are down, so mortgages are down, and I think we are making substantial progress on that. And I think over the coming months and the next year, prices are going to come down.
And so, folks, here's a big thing to keep in mind here. Before this shutdown went into effect 40 days ago, President Trump genuinely was working miracles to fix our economy. Inflation was down, job creation was through the roof, the stock market has been on fire, housing prices have been going down, energy prices are down. Really, the list just goes on and on. And keep in mind, all of that is even after inheriting the single worst U.S. economy since the Great Depression, all thanks to none other than Joe Biden and the Democrats. But regrettably, after 40 days, this Democrat-manufactured shutdown really is beginning to take its toll on the U.S. economy. Take a look.
We have to get this government open. I mean, the fact is Goldman Sachs, they have a top economic team, and they're estimating that we've already knocked about 1.5% off of GDP. I think that number is probably low if we keep going even a couple more weeks, because there's going to be a massive amount of air disruption, especially around the holidays. And, one of these things every now and then when we're talking economics, you and I, we talk about seasonal adjustments and things like that. But the fact is that Thanksgiving time is one of the hottest times of the year for the economy. It's, Black Friday and all that kind of stuff. Right. And if people aren't traveling at that moment, then we really could be looking at a negative quarter for the fourth quarter.
And so, folks, what he just said at the end there really is incredibly important. He said that if Schumer's shutdown doesn't come to an end, then we might end up having negative economic growth in the fourth quarter of 2025. And of course, as all of you know, if you have not 1 but 2 consecutive quarters of negative economic growth, well, you've got a recession. And so, ladies and gentlemen, right now, this seems to be Chuck Schumer's plan. This is his ultimatum. He wants to either force President Trump to fund the healthcare costs of millions of illegal aliens that shouldn't even be in the country in the first place, or he's going to try to plunge this nation into a recession. It's actually disgusting and can only be described as political terrorism. In fact, on that note, I've got some more information that I want all of you to take a look at, but first, I do want to say real quick that if you folks enjoy the daily news updates, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. But okay, check this out. Since stepping back into the White House 10 months ago, President Trump's rate of private sector job creation has averaged around 188,000 private sector jobs per month. But now, as a consequence of Schumer's shutdown, that rate of private sector job creation in the month of October has dropped all the way down to just 42,000 jobs. Folks, what that means is that in the month of October, private sector job creation has dropped to almost 1/5 of what it was before the beginning of the shutdown, Schumer's shutdown. We also have right around 40 million SNAP recipients that are in the process of getting kicked off of their federally funded food assistance, and then, on top of that, we also have over 13,000 air traffic controllers nationwide currently working without pay, and we're seeing all of these flight travel reductions as we head into the holidays. But to really put all of this into perspective here, take a look at this.
Well, we certainly don't have a crystal ball about what we can see, but I think Kevin's correct. The trickle-down effect is what's hurting the American people. Jackie, 40 days of a shutdown is where we are right today, and I'm hoping that the Senate Democrats will get it right. This Schumer shutdown is hurting all Americans, not only our current workforce, but our future workforce. And, BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, which falls under the Department of Labor, while independent, we're not even able to collect that data and or report on it because we don't have the workforce in place to do so.
And so, folks, do you all know what that really means here? What it means is that much of the damage that the Democrats and Chuck Schumer are causing right now isn't even being reported on because the Bureau of Labor Statistics is currently shut down right now because of this Democrat-manufactured shutdown. Luckily, though, as things currently seem, the Trump administration is standing strong and refusing to negotiate with Chuck Schumer and his band of political terrorists, otherwise known as the Democrat Party. In fact, take a look at this.
We have got to get the government reopened before, we do this. We are not going to negotiate with the Democrats until they reopen the government. It's very simple. Reopen the government, then we can have a discussion.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, it really is just that simple. But now at this point, I'm sure many of you can probably guess what I'm about to say next. The truth is, this entire Democrat-manufactured shutdown can be immediately brought to an end, and we can save our country permanently right now, right this very moment, if the Senate Republicans decide to cross the Rubicon here, or rather, cross the Delaware, and actually activate the nuclear option. Which is exactly what President Trump has time and time again been telling all of these Senate Republicans to do. It's time to go nuclear. And the reason why is because right now, it's time to cut the lip service and actually put America first.